the offensive line has played just so well. And again, considering the injuries they've had at right tackle, that's super impressive. But then
Real quick,
beyond that,
because you brought that up, I
yeah.
was standing there pregame and lined up in front of me were Monroe Mills,
Oh yeah.
Kalen Thomas,
Yeah.
David Willaba, and
Yeah.
Wallace Unamba. And I was like,
Yeah.
it looks like a graveyard of Virginia right tackles, just like all standing there on the crutches, the scooters, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that speaks to what you're saying. Like they
Yeah.
have overcome all that to have a good offensive line still.
And it wasn't that long ago that Virginia would have a injury on the offensive line, and the
Yeah.
entire line was
Brian
just
Stevens last year.
exactly right. Now, again, the offensive line is only as good as its last game, right? So, like in a lot of ways, it's one of those thankless things where, like, if the next game they struggle, no one will remember the production they had the first 3 weeks. But again, I think Dez's challenge is to get even more out of the passing game, all right?
Yeah.
And certainly the running backs have done just a super admirable job of not just being able to produce, but to turn short runs into long gains, touchdowns, right? The hitting home runs aspect of this offense from on the ground, that is not a thing we're used to.
I did want to give just a little more stats and kind of context to the offensive line. Obviously, 379 rushing yards that game. That's the second most since 1998 when they set the school record. Obviously, a little bit more than that was Coastal Carolina last year. But I think actually, if they hadn't taken those knees, and I think we need to talk about Cole Gear and how far he goes back on the kneels. Like, just go down right there. Like,
Yeah,
you don't need
that's
to.
right.
I think he like took off 3 yards in the first one, and then the
Yeah,
big one is they have not allowed a sack in 3 games. It's the first
yeah.
time since 2011 they haven't done that, and they're one of 8 teams nationally that doesn't have a sack allowed. That is crazy because last year they actually put up some record. They don't officially keep school records for how many sacks
Most
you give
actually, yeah.
up in a season, but I'm pretty sure they set the school record.